This is Obsidian ASMR. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. Hey, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super ASMR video. And today we're going to be looking at episodes 40 to 52. So only 12. This should have been out yesterday. However, I've just finished for Christmas. So yesterday was very busy, and I didn't want to rush it. I'd rather spend the time and tell you everything I know about Dragon Ball Super Part 4. So last time we left it at the end of the Inter-Universe tournament between Universe 6 and Universe 7, with Goku and Hit still in the ring, fighting it out. So, the future's hope lies in fighters of the past. After a series of intense matches, the winner of the Universe versus Universe tournament has the chance to wish on the Super Dragon Balls if they can find the final one. Luckily, it's been right under their noses, with all Super Dragon Balls collected. A wish is made that surprises everyone. And then, after an unexpected visit to planet Potofu, things settle down for the Z Fighters. That is until an SOS from the future arrives in the form of Future Trunks. With his timeline in dire straits, he seeks help from the past. But the enemy that he's running from looks exactly like Goku, because that hasn't been done before. Can the Z Fighters save Trunks' future, or will they bring doom to their own timeline? There's probably like 4 different characters that look like Goku, but evil. I'm pretty sure, like, Turles was one. Then, for a time period, Bardock was supposed to be. Then you've had, obviously, Goku Black, Captain Ginyu in Goku's body. I'm sure there's another one, but I could be wrong. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into it. And as always, I'll show you my camera. I'll show you the discs with my and Kid Trunks, and then we'll start, as per usual, with this. So episode 40, a decision at last. Is the winner Beerus, or is it Champa? So this episode, from my recollection, effectively starts out with Goku and Hit reaching a stalemate. So, they choose to end it in a draw. So, neither of the destroyers of universes, Champa or Beerus, win. basically, Champa and Beerus argue over this decision before Goku jumps out of the ring. Because he asked, Beerus to remove some of the rules so Hit can use, his more deadly techniques, I think. But because Beerus didn't agree to that, he basically disqualifies himself. So that leaves a frightened Monaka, remember him, to face it. Who in turn basically throws the tournament to repay Goku. And the reason, I think, was something like Hit went over his previous limits thanks to Goku, so it was like a mark of respect. But yeah, Universe 7 had declared the winners, and festivities start, and then at the end of it, Champa, who is a bit upset, shall we say, at his team, starts giving them death threats when Grand Zeno, the king of the universes, arrives in the ring. That leads us to come forth, divine dragon, and grant my wish. Peas and carrots. What a title. Zenu's there. I keep saying Zeno. Like Xenoverse. Zeno expressed his interest in the tournament because of this little one and the way that the two gods of destruction were behaving. So he wants to organise a 12-universe tournament with the other deities. Basically upset at how Goku was just going straight up to Zeno. See, I said it right. With not a care in the world. That leads to Champa taking Universe 6 back to their universe to start preparing for this multi-universe tournament. Whereas Beerus asks Bulma to find the 7th Super Dragon Ball with a tracker. It turns out the 7th Dragon Ball is Earth. So they use an incantation, basically like this special language. Like Dende uses Namekian to summon the Namekian dragon. Same thing happens here, but it's Bulma. Oh, no, it isn't. No, it's Whis. Whis summons the Super Shenron. Basically, Beerus wished for the restoration, secretly, of course, of Universe 6's Earth, because that was the stipulation, if you remember. But he doesn't want anybody to know that he's a big softie. Doesn't work out for him, though, because Vados tells Champa what Beerus has wished for. So, they may bicker, but like most brothers, they do care for each other, which is nice to see. At the end of the episode, Beerus and Monaka are left on Beerus's planet, whilst Whis departs for Earth. Monaka is nothing more than a ordinary mail delivery man. So he works in the postal service. Yes, he's an aspiring fighter, but not much of one. But nonetheless, he was used, tactfully so, by Beerus as a way to motivate Goku and Vegeta, who, by the end of the episode, are on their way back to Earth. And that leads us to a chaotic victory party. Showdown at last. Monaka versus Goku. It feels like filler, this episode, if I remember correctly. It's just another party at Capsule Corp. But effectively, Beerus had said, I think, that Monaka would attend, but he doesn't, because Whis knows that Goku would want to fight him, and he also knows that Monaka is just a mailman. However, in typical Dragon Ball coincidence, Monaka does end up attending, but not because of the invitation, but because Jacko made an order to Monaka's delivery company, and he just got assigned to deliver the package. So this forces Beerus to come clean, and to tell everybody Monaka's true identity. But everybody has to hide it from Goku. Do you see what I'm saying? So Goku doesn't end up arriving. And then, basically, I think it's Goten and Trunks say to Beerus, pretend you're Monaka, dress up as Monaka, and fight Goku. And Beerus does agree to the plan. But the fight is ended by Whis and Puar, who is disguised as Beerus, which is quite funny. That's basically the episode. So then, we move to Goku's energy is out of control. The struggle to look after Pan. Now you know, I'm a fan of Pan. But this one again does seem a bit more like filler, from what I can remember. So, Goku's basically exhausted. He can't control his energy like he usually does. And effectively he's taken a long-needed break from training to recover his strength. But Gohan and Videl are out doing couple things. So they ask Goku to babysit his granddaughter, Pan, who happens to be fascinated with stars, which is foreshadowing if this ever leads into Dragon Ball GT, because obviously she goes out there amongst the stars with Goku. I don't think it ever will, but, you know, one can dream. But it turns out that the Pilaf gang are back with a giant robot, and they just happen to attack when Goku doesn't have any of his strength. They end up unintentionally stealing Pan, who ends up on this robot that turns into like a spaceship and launches into the stratosphere, so space. The pressure from the launch and going through the stratosphere destroys their ship, but Pan is able to fly back home with her captives in tow. Basically, Goku, Gohan, and Videl were panicked, but they're relieved to find Pan, although none of them know what happened with the Pilaf gang. So, yeah, again, more filler. But episode 44 is the seal of planet Potafu. The secrets of the unleashed superhuman water. So Manaka has delivered another package to Bulma, Goten and Trunks. But the latter two sneak into his delivery truck and they're taken to planet Potafu, where they encounter a load of space bandits, because of course they do. And they're led by somebody called Grill, who's trying to steal a treasure known as superhuman water. But basically, I can't really remember this one, truth be told. I know Vegeta and Jacko turn up. They find Goten and Trunks. And yeah, effectively, like, Vegeta dispatches the bandits, I think. But I think the episode ends with the bandits like turning into water or something, and then like surrounding or latching on to Vegeta. Then they like spit him out, but then there's a clone of Vegeta made out of water, which then leads into episode 45. Again, a lot of this is filler. Which is Vegeta disappears. Menace of the duplicate Vegeta. So, what I just described, yeah, the duplicate is powerful. And effectively, like, it's part of a bioweapon called Comson, I think. Comson. I think the guy, I haven't watched this in years, I think Potage is his name, and he tells them, Goten, Trunks, Vegeta, that the original, that Comson copies will disappear after being cloned. And that's what happened to the space bandits. And the only way to stop it is by destroying the duplicate in a set amount of time. Goten and Trunks try, but they don't do anything. And then effectively, Goku senses that they're in trouble, so he comes using instant transmission. And then, yeah. Yeah, he basically wants, the duplicate wants to fight Goku, because he's also absorbed Vegeta's personality. So he dispatches the duplicate grill. Then we move on to episode 46, which is Goku versus the duplicate Vegeta. Which one is going to win? Thankfully, I think this is the last of the filler episodes. Yeah, the duplicate Vegeta and Goku fight against one another. And Vegeta's there on the sidelines, basically, like holding his tongue until he gets a little bit too pissed off, and starts criticizing both of them. Yeah, all of them, so Trunks, Goten, Jacko, and Vegeta join the fight. After finding the duplicate grill and destroying him to weaken Komasun's core, and by doing so, weaken the duplicate Vegeta. I think something like Monaka accidentally steps on Komasun's core, which damaged it, along with duplicate Vegeta. But it doesn't look like it's been done at the right time, and Vegeta starts to disappear. This only makes Goku kind of focus, and yeah, he basically immediately destroys the duplicate and saves the real Vegeta. Komasun is sealed away, and Goku thanks Monaka and says that basically the victory and saving Vegeta was all down to him. They all head back to Earth, and then we get a glimpse of a new timeline where future Trunks is fighting for his life, and that leads us into the future Trunks saga. I still can't believe that this was like 2017, which is 6 years ago now, almost 7. Crazy, isn't it? Originally, the American version, or the dubbed version, I think came out in, well, it would have been 18 months later, I think. Yeah, so 2018, maybe. I didn't wait for that. I watched the original Japanese version when it was first released. Made it a bit more difficult to keep track. Anyway, episode 47, SOS from the Future. A dark new enemy appears. Goku's back farming, tricking Piccolo into a harvesting competition for training. But that's disturbed by Krillin, who arrives and reveals accidentally that Vegeta is training with Whis behind Goku's back. Shock horror. So immediately, Goku uses instant transmission to go to Beerus's planet. He throws Beerus a ball of lettuce while learning that Zeno isn't a fighter, but he does have the power to erase entire universes. Remember that for later. He also learns that there were originally 18 universes, not 12. Again, remember that for later. I'd also remember that for the possibility of multiverses, which this very much is a multiverse story. That's where I think they could bring Dragon Ball GT into the continuity, if they so wished. But then we get flung to an alternate timeline to see future Trunks running away from a shadowy enemy called Black. And just that, Black. Trunks goes to his mother, future Bulma, let's call her, who's fueling up the time machine in order to send Trunks for help back in the past. Black tracks them both down and effectively kills Bulma as Trunks leaves in the time machine in a near miss. But he meets up with future Mai, informing or telling her of Bulma's death, where they go through the remnants of the Capsule Corp building to find the time machine, and they do. But again, Black intercepts them, and he kills Mai this time, so he's 2-0. 2 times on the screen, and 2 times that he's killed somebody close to Trunks' heart. At the end of the episode, as future Trunks looks back, it reveals that Black is a Goku lookalike. And then we move on to episode 48, Hope, Redux, Awaken in the Present, Trunks. So Goku Black taunts future Trunks for failing to save both Mai and Bulma, which immediately makes Trunks go Super Saiyan, but it's a losing battle. Goku Black is way too powerful, and Trunks knows this, so instead of that, and fighting mano-a-mano, he distracts him long enough to reach the time capsule and escape 17 years into the past. Meanwhile, in the present timeline, present Trunks is at school, I think, where he's just studying with, I think it's the Pilaf gang. I can't remember why, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, during like their break time, or as the Americans would say, recess, but there's no TJ Detweiler or Gus Griswold, none of those, or Spinelli. Instead, it's just break time. He goes out and just happens to see the time capsule arrive with future Trunks inside. Obviously a little bit perturbed by what he's just seen with his grown-up doppelganger. He calls for Bulma, who immediately contacts Vegeta and Goku. Trunks gets asked to power up so Goku can lock onto him, which he does, and the two of them, along with Whis and Beerus, arrive. Vegeta asks Goku then to go get some senzu beans, which means he flies off to Korin's tower to get them. Trunks, who has lost consciousness inside the capsule, regains it, but immediately attacks Goku, thinking that it's Goku Black. Episode 49, A Message from the Future, The Incursion of Goku Black. After being calmed down by Bulma, future Trunks is introduced to everybody present, and filled in on the events that occurred after the Cell Saga, because obviously he was around for the Cell Saga, and he was a fan favourite too. So it was quite a good move to bring him back here, even though he may be a different version with the blue hair rather than the purple. Who knows? We'll find out. In his timeline, future Trunks reveals that he actually prevented the revival of Majin Buu. But instead of Buu, Goku Black appeared and massacred most of humanity, with only him and a few remaining people fighting in a losing battle. The thing I don't like about this is, for those of you that have eagle-eyed or elephant memories, you remember that during the Cell Saga, the reason why Goku couldn't help in the future was because he died from a heart attack or heart virus. So, I just want you to remember that for the rest of this video and next week's version, or installment, because there's a serious continuity error here. But it is what it is. We move on. Basically, Bulma realizes the future Trunks has come back to get reinforcements, rather than to come and help them fight. He needs them to go and help him. And she gets this by, reading a journal that was left in the time capsule by future Bulma. Meanwhile, Beerus and Whis are both utterly astonished that humans are messing around with time travel, because they thought it wasn't within their capabilities. But more respect to Bulma. We then go back to the alternate future, where Goku Black realizes that Trunks travel back in time. But he uses a ring on his finger to open up a tear in time to reach the present, where future Trunks has just finished sparring with Super Saiyan 3 Goku to determine where each other are in terms of power levels. So episode 50, Goku versus Black, a closed off road to the future. So Goku Black is in the present or the past, whichever point of view you want to take. interested immediately in fighting Goku, and easily holds his own against his Super Saiyan form. While future Trunks is sat there thinking, why is Goku holding back? Just go Super Saiyan 3. The fight continues until basically these time distortions caused by the time capsule begins to fade, weakening the tear as in the space-time continuum, as Goku Black is torn from the present back to the future or alternate timeline. But just before he destroys Trunks' time machine in order to prevent him from coming back to the future. Whis spots the time ring that Black has on his ring finger, and he knows that only Supreme Kais possess that. So Whis and Beerus are astonished then when Bulma reveals that she kept the time machine that Trunks came in during the Cell Saga, intending to use it or basically repair it, but she didn't have the means to until she found the journal from a future self in the time machine the future Trunks escaped Goku Black in. Do you follow? The episode ends with Goku Black reappearing in the future timeline and future Mai regaining consciousness. Episode 51 is feelings that transcend time. Trunks and Mai. What a beautiful phrase. So Bulma, in the present, is fixing the time capsule with the schematics from the journal. But Goku heads off to King Kai's planet to train after Beerus and Whis both refuse to do so because of Goku Black's familiar energy. Future Trunks notices Mai from the Pilaf gang and basically recounts that Mai was a leader of Earth's resistance movement who died fighting to protect the planet, or so he thinks. He then also tells of Goku Black's ultimate goal, which is to eliminate everything he considers an inferior being, which is crazy, really. Back in the future, Goku Black is so excited to face off against Goku. And he says something like, it's because he's growing more accustomed to this body, which is hinting that he hasn't had it for long. Again, remember that loophole. And then the final episode for today is Master and Pupil reunited. Gohan and future Trunks. So Bulma is still trying to repair the time machine. But this is when future Trunks stumbles across Piccolo and Krillin, mending the damage in the wake of the fight between Goku and Goku Black. Future Trunks finds out that from Piccolo rather, that and stopped fighting. He became a scholar and a businessman. But that doesn't really stop Trunks from wanting to thank Gohan for teaching him so much, or for his alternate version. Teaching him so much in terms of like martial arts and stuff in the androids riddled future that we knew from the Cell Saga. Obviously, Gohan died in that future. So he sets off to the university that Gohan is studying at, and they talk, and then eventually he gets invited to Gohan's house for dinner. The whole thing reminds him of how much Gohan meant to him in the future, and it kind of reinvigorates his desire to stop Goku Black. So after the dinner, he returns to Capsule Corp, where he learns that Goku, Beerus and Whis have left to investigate the mystery. The mystery. I make myself laugh sometimes. Behind Goku Black's energy signature, which was familiar. And just at the end of the episode, you catch a glimpse of a Supreme Kai, but not the one that we know. Obviously, because it's in a different universe. And that is all we have time for this week. Make sure you tune in again next week for part 5, where we continue the Goku Black arc. But again, thank you very much for all your views, your likes, your comments, and all the support that you give this channel, because without that support, the channel is nothing. It's all because of you. I wish you all a wonderfully happy winter period, festive period, whether you're celebrating or you're not. And I can't wait to start 2024 off where we left off in 2023. I'm likely going to take a short break over the days leading up to and including Christmas. But I'm going to try and keep content rolling out over that period. But just to give you all a warning. Other than that, yeah, thank you so much, as per usual. I appreciate each and every one of you, and hello to all of my new subscribers. It's great, genuinely great, to have you all here. So, all that's left for me to say is take care of yourselves and each other.